Hey, what's up guys? Rami here with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for Monday, August 24th. In this stimulus news update, we'll talk about a couple of Congress bills. One passed in the House, one is coming out of the Senate. The Republican skinny bill, we'll see what it includes. And also, I'll just quickly let you know that New York finally actually applied for the FEMA funding of the $300 per week unemployment benefit. So let's get into all the details right after you please hit the like button on the video so that YouTube can share this important information with other people. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so I can keep you up to date on everything regarding the second stimulus check and stimulus package. Okay, so you probably already know by now that the House was called back into session and came back to work on a weekend for a major emergency that couldn't wait a day longer. Otherwise, it will have a devastating effect on the American people and their lives. The House members came back under orders of the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, to vote on giving $25 billion of much needed aid to the United States Postal Service. Without this help, American children will not be able to send Santa letters. Okay, I'll stop with the sarcasm. I know the post office is essential and very important and delivers medicine to elderly people and veterans, but the bill also was to stop any operational changes to the USPS. We don't want anything to change to an institution that is losing $8 billion a year, and we don't trust the person who heads it at all, but we need to give him $25 billion of aid. Fine, let's save the Postal Service. Now, did the House consider throwing in additional unemployment benefits to help millions of unemployed Americans? Nope. How about sending them $1,200 to pay for food? Nope. Maybe some money for our heroes and essential workers? No. Maybe some money for those who are retired on Social Security, SSDI, or SSI? No, and no. They can wait. It's not strategic to send them money to feed their families and keep a roof over their head right now. So sorry to paint such a sad, dark picture, but there's no sugarcoating this. There was zero positive news from this weekend when it comes to voting on a bill in the House. Well, maybe the Republican skinny bill, the Delivering Immediate Relief to America's Families, Schools, and Small Businesses Act, maybe that will have some good news. Well, very little good news in there. Let's see what it is all about. This is the $500 billion bill that the Republicans in the Senate are looking to vote on later this week after the RNC convention, maybe. First thing in this bill is liability protection. There's a section for liability protection for individuals and entities engaged in business, services, activities, or accommodations. Also a section of protection for healthcare providers. These liability protections will run from December 2019 until October 2024. And it appears that the only way you can sue an establishment because of the illness is if they committed gross negligence and willful misconduct. All you have to know here is that this bill, if passed, will make suing someone or an entity in relation to this illness very difficult, extremely difficult. Plus, the money you would get is not that much. It will be whatever income you actually lost because of it. And as far as punitive damage, it will be maxed out at the dollar amount you get from compensation to your losses. So if you lost $5,000 because of it, you'll get that $5,000 for compensation, and the punitive damage will be maxed out at another $5,000. Next up in the bill, we have unemployment benefits. They put this under a section called Assistance for American Families. The title of this section in the bill is misleading. This is helpful for some American families, but I wouldn't call it assistance for American families. That section should have been expanded to include $1,200 stimulus checks, help against evictions, and rental assistance. That would have been good assistance for American families. Anyway, the unemployment benefits under this new bill would be $300 per week boost until December 27th, 2020, and would be under the conditions of the CARES Act, not the new requirements from the executive orders signed by President Trump. It also looks like it would be retroactive to the week after the $600 expired. So that would be good. Now, whether the $300 is a good number or not, I'm sure everyone will have their thoughts on that. But the fact is, the $600 that was replacing on average 134% of lost wages per person claiming unemployment. So that's getting paid 34% more than what you were getting paid from your job. We also have the study that showed about 60% were getting paid more than from their job. And the bottom 20% of people receiving unemployment, they were getting paid double what they were making from their job. So $400 would replace on average 80 to 90% of wages lost. So that would be a much better number than $300. But I guess they're giving themselves some room to negotiate with the Democrats. Next in the skinny bill is a second round of PPP money. This will go to the end of 2020 and will expand the covered expenses to add things like paying for property damage due to looting and rioting, supplier cost, also worker protections, like spending on things that will help the business adapt to the recommendations by the Department of Health and the CDC. Also, things like renovation expenses to add barriers like those glass walls at cashiers that we see now, adding a drive-through window, buying PPE, among other things. There's also changes to qualifying to the loans. A big one is for those taking a loan of $150,000 or less will be based on self-attestation, and you are required to keep documents to support that you need this money for only 1 year, just in case you get audited. That's a big change, but obviously your loan won't be forgiven if you get audited and you were found to commit fraud and didn't need this money. And to be eligible, you need to have 300 employees or less and to have your revenue cut down by 35% compared to 2019, and that's comparing the first quarter or the second quarter. Then we have the $105 billion for schools, $70 billion of which goes to the elementary and secondary school emergency relief fund, and 1/3 of this money would be disbursed immediately, and the rest depends on the school reopening plans. Then we have $10 billion for the Postal Service. That's different from what the House passed on Saturday. Then there's also money for testing, about $16 billion for that, and $29 billion to develop medicine and vaccines. So yeah, I really hope the Senate gets back to work on this early and not wait until the middle of September to negotiate on this. But sucks to see that there is no stimulus checks in this bill. Everyone in government supported the idea of a second stimulus check, Democrats, Republicans, White House, and giving it to more people to include adult dependents this time, but still it didn't make the cut in this skinny bill. I understand Republicans want to be fiscally responsible and all that, but come on now. The people need help now, and none of this would help retired people or those on disability when they also need help. The cost of food and everything else pretty much is skyrocketing, and it's just not right. And what about our heroes and essential workers? But what's frustrating me more than anything is that this didn't get negotiated with that silly Postal Service bill that passed in the House on Saturday, that is already dead on arrival in the Senate. The most waste of time ever. And the thing is, I'm sure the Democrats in the House know that it is dead on arrival. And at this point, if it is a political move, it's a bad political move. The American people and voters are more concerned now about feeding their families and keeping a roof over their head more than voting by mail. Come on now. So sad and frustrating. I really want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate all your support. Please hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. And make sure to check the links in the description for the SoFi Money account. If you open an account using the link below and deposit $500, you'll get a $50 bonus. Then you can refer your family and friends and get $50 from every referral up to $10,000 per year. So that's a good way to make a couple of $100 right there. And it is a checking account and a savings account. It's not a stock market account. The account has no fees, no minimum fees, no overdraft fees, and no ATM fees at over 55,000 ATMs. It's a fantastic product. I love it, and a lot of you already told me that you love it. And don't forget to get your free stock from Robinhood and 2 free stocks from Webull, with one of them potentially worth up to $1,400 when you deposit only $100, which is just like cash. You can take it out anytime you feel like it. Links are in the description below. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.